A deep chill had fallen over the half-finished towers of Hogwarts. A chill that had nothing to do with the Scottish wind. In the center of what would become the Great Hall, a single enchanted flame flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. Around it stood the four greatest witches and wizards of the age, the founders. But they were not united. Salazar Slytherin, his voice a cold whisper, pointed a long finger towards the dark, looming forest. The world outside is filled with suspicion and hatred, Godric. We cannot, we must not, allow their impure blood to stain these sacred walls. Helga Hufflepuff, her expression kind but firm, shook her head. All who seek to learn are welcome here, Salazar. That was our promise. All. Rowena Ravenclaw, her gaze distant, was looking at a magical, glowing blueprint of the castle, lost in thought. Our challenge is not blood, she said, her voice like the turning of a page, but a mind. How do we measure the worth of a student's potential? Godric Gryffindor, silent until now, slammed his fist on the rough wooden table. Worth? Worth is measured in the heart, in courage, in action. The four stood in a tense deadlock. Four brilliant minds, four powerful ideals, pulling the very soul of the castle in different directions. Salazar Slytherin summoned his familiar, a great silver serpent that coiled around his arm, its eyes glowing with cold intelligence. In response, a magnificent golden lion, made of pure light, appeared behind Gryffindor, a silent roar echoing in the magical air. A badger, loyal and steadfast, burrowed at Hufflepuff's feet, its form glowing with an earthy, warm light. And an eagle of bronze soared above Ravenclaw's head, its sharp eyes surveying the conflict. Their very magic was at war. Godric looked at his friends, his rivals, and a deep sadness touched his heart. He saw the first cracks in their legendary friendship. He saw a future where their squabbles could tear the school apart. A future where, after they were gone, no one would know how to sort the children. Who would decide who was brave, who was cunning, who was loyal, who was wise? In that moment of desperate clarity, he knew. He knew they couldn't leave this monumental task to chance, or to a flawed human judge. They needed a vessel, something impartial, something eternal, something that could hold a piece of each of them. His gaze fell upon the worn, pointed wizard's hat resting on his own head, a simple object that had been with him in 100 battles. An idea, as brave and as bold as the man himself, began to form. A secret that would become the living soul of Hogwarts. He held the simple leather hat in his hands, a witness to his past, and now the vessel for their future. We will each give it a part of our own mind, he declared, a mind that will know how to find the brave. His hand, holding the hat, began to glow with a powerful, crimson light. Salazar Slytherin stepped forward, a calculating look in his eyes. And the cunning, those of pure ambition. He touched the hat, and a sinister, emerald green energy flowed into it. It must also value the loyal, Helga Hufflepuff added, her voice warm as the earth. She placed her gentle hand on the hat, and a soft, golden yellow light pulsed from her touch. Double quotes, and never forget those of wit and learning, Rowena Ravenclaw concluded, her touch adding a final, brilliant, sapphire blue glow. The four streams of magical energy red, green, yellow, and blue swirled together, weaving into the very fabric of the old hat. The hat began to levitate, suspended in the swirling vortex of their combined power. Its form twisted and turned, seams stitching themselves with threads of pure light. A mouth appeared in the folds of the fabric, a silent O of new consciousness. It was being born, and for the first time, a voice not belonging to any of the four echoed not in the air, but in their minds. A voice ancient and new, pieced together from their own thoughts and ideals. Their work was done. The Sorting Hat was alive, a silent guardian, a keeper of their legacy, created to ensure that Hogwarts would forever have a heart, even when its founders were but a memory. And so, their masterpiece was complete. A simple, unassuming sheet of parchment that held within its fibers one of the most complex and audacious pieces of magic ever performed by students. The Marauder's map. It was more than a tool for mischief. It was a testament to their genius and a physical manifestation of their unbreakable bond. The map changed everything. Their nightly excursions were no longer just hopeful explorations into the dark. They were precise, calculated operations. The parchment, spread out on James Potter's bed in the Gryffindor Tower, became their strategic command center. They would trace the tiny, labeled dots of professors on their rounds, watch the spectral path of the castle's ghosts, and most importantly, find the safest, most secret routes to the Whomping Willow, the gateway to their friend Remus. The map turned the sprawling, labyrinthine castle into their personal kingdom. Every secret passage, every trick staircase, every hidden nook was theirs to command. It emboldened them. Their pranks on Slytherin students became more elaborate, their trips to the kitchens for food more frequent, their sense of ownership over the castle absolute. They were not merely students at Hogwarts. They were its masters. But the map's truest, most sacred purpose was always Remus. On the nights of the full moon, it was their lifeline. They could track his werewolf form as it paced restlessly in the shrieking shack, ensuring no unsuspecting student or teacher ever wandered too close. They used it to navigate the forest, finding clearings where Moony could run free under the watchful eyes of Prongs, Padfoot, and Wormtail. The map, in its silent, inky way, was Remus's guardian angel. It transformed his curse from a lonely, monthly agony into a shared, wild adventure. It was the ultimate expression of their friendship, using Forbidden's magic not for power, not for glory, but simply to be there for a friend in his darkest hour. For 7 years, the Marauder's map was their most guarded secret, their most prized possession. It saw them through countless detentions, guided them on hundreds of moonlit adventures, and served as the silent witness to a friendship that seemed as indestructible as the castle walls themselves. It was the diary of their youth, every inkline a memory, every moving dot a story. But all golden ages must come to an end. As their final year at Hogwarts approached, the shadows of the outside world began to creep into their lives. A dark wizard, Lord Voldemort, was rising to power, and the talk in the corridors was no longer of Quidditch matches and OWL exams, but of disappearances, of fear, of a looming war. The four friends, now on the cusp of adulthood, knew that their time of carefree mischief was over. They were no longer just students. They were soon to be soldiers in a conflict that would demand everything from them. The map, their brilliant tool of rebellion, began to feel like a relic of a more innocent time. It was a masterpiece of student magic, yes, but it was also risky. In the wrong hands, it was a terrifyingly powerful tool for espionage. It could track anyone, reveal any hiding place. In a time of war and mistrust, such a thing could not be allowed to fall into the possession of the enemy, or even a ministry official who might not understand its true, noble purpose. On one of their final evenings in the Gryffindor common room, as the fire burned low, the four of them made a final, difficult decision. The map had served its purpose. It had kept Remus safe. It had given them freedom. Now it was time to let it go. But destroying it felt like a betrayal, like burning a piece of their own souls. Sirius Black, ever the dramatic one, had an idea. "We don't destroy it," he said, a glimmer of the old mischief in his eyes. "We confiscate it. They would let it be taken from them. They would perform one final grand act of mischief. They set up a complicated, noisy prank in a corridor far from their usual haunts. One designed specifically to attract the attention of the castle's most notorious confiscator of magical contraband, Argus Filch. The caretaker Dot as Filch came stomping down the hall, shouting about delinquents and threatening with chains. James accidentally dropped the blank parchment from his robes. Filch snatched it up with greedy glee. "Aha, coded messages, I'll bet. I'll have this figured out by morning," he crowed, completely unaware of the true magic he held. The four friends barely contained their laughter as they were dragged off to detention one last time. Their mission was a success. The map was safe, hidden in the one place no one would ever think to look for a powerful magical object. Argus Filch's locked filing cabinet, labeled confiscated and highly dangerous. They were confident its secrets were secure, protected by the most powerful magic of all, the fact that no one would ever know how to turn it on. And that, dear traveler, is the true secret of the Marauder's map. It is not just enchanted ink on parchment. It is the footprint of a great friendship. It is a story of loyalty, of a magic used not for power, but for love. A reminder that even in the darkest of times, the bonds we forge can create a light that guides those who come after us. Now, it is time to manage your own mischief, to put away the thoughts and worries of the day. Let the intricate corridors of the map fade from your mind. Your own journey for tonight is much simpler, much quieter. It is a journey inward, to a place of deep, peaceful rest. Imagine your own mind as a map, and with each breath, you wipe it clean. Let all the moving dots, all the busy thoughts, come to a gentle stop. With each exhale, whisper to yourself, "Mischief managed. The day is done. Its challenges have been met. Its adventures are over. Now, there is only the quiet sanctuary of your room, the soft comfort of your bed, and the gentle darkness that waits to embrace you. Feel the weight of your eyelids, heavy and calm. Feel your breathing slow, becoming a soft, steady rhythm. A lullaby just for you. There are no more passages to explore tonight, no more secrets to uncover. There is only rest. Sleep now, dear friend. Sleep deeply, and dream of your own grand adventures."